Hey, what's up guys? This is Gian of Gadget Pilipinas. Welcome back to the channel. This is our first episode of TechBros, where I engage meaningful conversation with one of my brothers in the industry, JamOnline of JamOnline.ph. In this episode, we will be discussing about the brand new Huawei MateBook and of course the Apple MacBook Pro with M1 chip. We will be asking the questions: is it good having one of the two? What are the advantages and benefits? Is it good having both of them? Let's get started. Hey guys!
Hey guys!
Yun, so Jam, this is our first episode of Tech Bros. Alam mo walang naisip na title.
Oh, alam mo naman tayo talaga, hindi naman original, pero tayo yung Tech Bros, you know?
Yeah, the Tech Bros.
Like this,
diba?
bro! Do it like this!
Okay, so this is going to be not actually a hot topic, no? Pero before we get into our discussion for this episode, kamustahin muna kita, bro? Kamusta ka naman?
Alam mo naman, busy tayo ngayon sa trabaho at sa new world, bro. Kamusta ka naman, bro?
Yan, nako, level 60 na tayo, bro.
Level 60, oh yes, oh yes.
It's fun, no, playing with you sa new world. And also, syempre, in the industry we're in, we're very happy that maganda ang ating pag-uusapan ngayon, no? Hot topic, no? At least for the both of us. So, ayun. So, okay. What I did, Jam, is I prepared a few questions for you. And I believe you also prepared a few questions for me. Yan. So,
yes.
Mahirap ba yung mga tanong mo?
Kailangan niyo po mangopya.
No, okay, just so you know, yung prepare kong questions kay Jam is about, or actually, everything about the Huawei MateBook 14s. Pa-flex naman Jam, Jam ng yung,
Bro,
yan, no?
I just need to flex this, bro. I got the Huawei MateBook 14s. Ayan.
14,
I got the i7 variant. Kasi dalawa yun eh. May i5, may i7. I got the i7, bro. The best one. Alright?
The best one.
Oh, yeah.
Flex na flex yun. Well, ako naman, Jam, no? Meron naman ako dito na hindi Huawei, no? Apple naman to. Apple MacBook Pro M1. So, it's actually, kumbaga, if I should say, for those who are really into the ecosystem of Apple, so this is something that they've got, no? And for the ecosystem naman ng Windows, si Jam naman ang meron dyan. And, you know, since si MateBook 14s has been already announced, no? One of the things that I actually noticed is yung kanyang design. Very striking yung kanyang itsura.
Yeah, super.
Anong kulay ba yung nasa iyo ngayon, Jam?
This is the silver one. Actually, available din siya sa green eh. Medyo kakaiba yung green, yung spruce green. Kasi it's very unique for a laptop. I never seen a laptop na green na ganun yung pagka-green niya. And with the metal na material, which is really premium do sa laptop.
Sa laptop. Okay, so since napag-usapan natin yung design, is there anything, no? Kumbaga yung changes in terms of the design, meron ba siyang effect dun sa kanya mga functionalities?
Actually, the design language is very similar dun sa previous generation. I mean, all of the MateBooks, they look premium, they look pretty similar, but this one has some changes. Well, hindi siya pinakamanipes. I actually like that because of the thermals and of course yung parts, mas maraming space for that. Pero yung nabago dito is the ports. So we got here USB-A port, then on the other side, we got here two USB-C ports, one of it is a Thunderbolt, and then HDMI and the headphone jack. Previously, I believe wala tayong Intel version ng Huawei MateBook 14, so we don't have Thunderbolt 4, but this time, we now have Thunderbolt 4.
Wow, Thunderbolt 4. Mamaya meron akong questions sa'yo about the ports, no? Kasi yan yung isa sa mga, kumbaga, one of the topics na talagang debated upon, no? By
Yun yung parang medyo maano ngayon eh, mainit ngayon sa mga laptops, the ports.
Alright, totoo yun. Okay, so one of the things that we covered on our website, no, is about the display of the Huawei MateBook 14s, no? Nasulat yan ng aming team, no? What can you say about the display of the Huawei MateBook 14s?
Alright, so dito sa MateBook 14s, una, thin bezel. Panalo sa akin yung thin bezel neto. I like the thin bezel of the Huawei MateBook 14s. And some of you might not notice it, but it's actually a 3:2 display aspect ratio. I prefer having a 3:2 compared to 16:9 kasi pag meron akong two windows side by side, mas marami akong na-view na content pag vertical compared sa mga 16:9. Kasi 16:9 mas wide din. Pero ito, pag nag-view ka, gumagawa ka ng documents and also meron ka sa browser, side by side, mas marami kang ma-view. Aside from that, meron tayong mataas na resolution dito. It's a 2.5K display. Also, we got here yung ating touchscreen. Unlike yung previous generation. I believe walang touchscreen yung previous generation. So, malaking bagay na may touchscreen tayo dito sa MateBook 14s.
Yeah, one of the things that people have been talking about, isa na naman debate ito, is ano ba mas maganda, 3:2 ba or 16:9, 16:10?
Oh, yeah.
And as you mentioned in terms of verticality, there's more coverage in terms of verticality, and actually that's one of the strengths of the Huawei MateBook 14s, no? And I am surprised, no, na meron pala siyang multi-touch features. I never realized that.
Meron siyang multi-touch feature dito sa ating display, pero syempre pag nakabukas tayo ng isang picture, doon mo magagamit yon, yung mga navigation stuff.
And I wonder, no, if in the future Huawei would have a 2-in-1 convertible laptop, no? Kasi parang yun na lang ang kulang sa kanila yata, no?
Yeah, nandito na yung hardware eh. Kaya naman nila eh. I mean, they're Huawei, malaki naman R&D nila and all. So, I believe kaya naman nila gawin yung flip na, or 2-in-1 na form factor.
Yeah. Okay, now, we talked about design, we talked about form factor. Now, let's talk about the platform, the Intel Evo platform that is currently on the new Huawei MateBook 14s. Hindi naman natin pag-usapan dito yung benchmark because I know that you're still currently using the device, no? And by the way, guys, please go check the review of Jam pretty soon on the Huawei MateBook 14s. In terms of your overall experience with the processor inside, what can you say about it?
It's actually pretty fast. 11 Gen kasi it's a big leap from the 10th generation. Na-review ko yung ibang mga laptops. Similar ako ng Vertigo 4 now doon sa kanyang performance. Mabilis, maganda, Iris Xe, panalo. Evo platform, minention ko yun sa previous review ko. The Evo platform kasi meron niya standard si Intel eh. Right. Basically with Evo, pag member siya ng Evo platform yung laptop, may sinusunod siya na standards ni Intel na mabilis yung laptop, mabilis mag-boot up, and premium yung laptop. And yes, dito sa Huawei MateBook 14s, the Intel Core i7 na gamit ko, the 1135G7. Actually, I was able to play dito Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I'm actually planning to install Valorant and hopefully New World. Pero I believe kaya New World dito eh.
Although very low settings siguro. Yeah, kasi alam mo natin. It's nice to know. It's nice to know na kaya niya. Despite the fact that it's not running in any GPUs na alam naman natin, no. However, we all know that this one is rocking the Intel processor. It's fast. We've reviewed other laptops of the same configuration. Now, let me go back to the topic of ports. Kasi you mentioned kanina, no, it has bevy of ports. If you could tell me, alam naman natin na yung bagong nilabas na mga MacBook ngayon, na yung mga M1 na bago na laptops, they actually reintroduced the ports. And that somehow makes this particular laptop parang inferior in the lot. Kasi ito, ilan lang to, it only has two Thunderbolt USBs, and what can you say about this issue, and what can you say about the ones on the Huawei MateBook 14s?
I think they've included dito yung essential ones. For example, we got here USB-A, single one. Kasi itong single USB-A, ginagamit to sa mga mouse, sa mga, hindi na siya ganun ka-common. Unlike the USB-C. A lot of cables right now, smartphones, even yung mga external SSDs natin, they're now using USB Type-C. So, it's nice na merong isang ganito na Type-A, then two Type-C. So, medyo okay na tayo doon pagdating sa USB. And then, we also got here HDMI.
Right.
The HDMI kasi ito talaga yung ginagamit sa TV, pag kailangan mo sa presentations. So it might not have an SD card reader, but not all people might need an SD card reader, especially sa kanya. That this laptop is made for productivity laptop, for office, for school. So I believe okay na yung ports nito along with the audio jack. Although it would be nice if meron pang additional na port dito sa Huawei MateBook 14s. But it's nice na meron pa rin tayo dito USB Type-A and they still included yung HDMI dito. For some people, baka hindi na nila kailanganin ng dongle. But for some na gumagamit ng SD card or other ports, they might need dongle dito sa MateBook 14s.
MateBook 14. And I think in terms of dongles naman, there's a lot of dongles available right now. I recently covered this new product from another brand, no?
Yeah, I saw that.
That would definitely work on the Huawei MateBook 14s. I'm currently using it on my MacBook because, this only has about 2. But it doesn't mean...
mahirap eh.
Mahirap eh. Kasi kulang, like currently, the one I'm currently using, this one has, a lot, no? Kompleto siya. Merong 3.5mm headphone jack. There's SD, micro SD. So, I think, hands down, no, to Huawei, no, for having all of those ports available, the important ones. But it doesn't, in a way, no, still doesn't remove the fact na kailangan mo pa rin talaga ng dongle if you want to really maximize your laptop. I think it is the same predicament on both laptops. In the Windows ecosystem, you have there the MateBook. In the MacBook, in Apple ecosystem, you have here the MacBook. All right, so ayan. The situation that we're all in, no, has actually further pushed people to use the hardware features of certain laptops. No? Alam naman natin, both the MacBook Pro and the Huawei MateBook 14s, meron silang mga other hardware features na installed sa kanila. And this would, of course, include a lot, microphone, camera. What can you say about the new MateBook?
Okay, first of all, the webcam. Instead of the recessed webcam sa mga previous MacBooks na nandito, which is parang manggagaling from the chin, going up yung camera.
Yes.
This time, nandito na siya ngayon sa taas
ng
display. So, mas natural na yung dating pag nasa video calls kayo, especially ngayon na sa online school, Zoom sa work and everything. So, mas natural na and mas sumasabay sa display. Kung nasan yung display nyo, kung saan nakaharap, nandun din yung webcam. As for the microphone, I actually tested it kanina for video call. Kinausap ko yung sarili ko, tsaka yung aso ko. So, napansin ko talaga na may nakatulong yung noise cancelling niya. Kasi yung, may aircon ako palagi dito eh. Meron maingay lagi dito sa environment, and nabawasan yung ingay. So maganda yung pick up niya na audio. Medyo may bass ng konti yung yung aking boses, pero nababawasan yung noise doon sa sa mic ko. So which is pretty good, especially these days lagi tayo nasa video call.
Correct, no? Kumbaga in terms of microphone, klaro, it's nice that one already has AI, technology that assists or helps in terms of, removing noise. And I believe, this one also from Apple has an integrated AI, in order to also clean, yung noise, which is actually a nice touch to a lot of smart laptops rather right now. In fact, instead of you buying, di ba may mga special dongles right now that helps you remove your noise. You don't need to do that anymore with these laptops available. Again, Windows, you have the MateBook 14s, and on MacBook, of Apple rather, you have the MacBook, new one, the new MacBook 13. Okay, now ecosystem. Let's talk about that. It actually plays a lot, in the whole, scheme of things, especially in the laptop industry. Alam naman natin, isa yun sa mga major strengths ng Mac OS. I've been using MacBook for quite some time, and then umalis ako ng Apple ecosystem, bumalik ulit ako ng Apple ecosystem, and I always appreciate that with MacBook. You're able to connect your other iOS devices to the MacBook, and kind of makes everything very seamless, very connected. Now, in the case of MateBook, we've covered that in the past, in our respective videos. But what can you say about this, and add the fact na alam naman natin most new laptops right now, whether they come in with Windows 11 pre-installed out of the box, what would be the effect of Windows 11 when it comes to laptops such as the one that you have right now?
Okay. First of all, the ecosystem nito is right now I'm running on Windows 10. Di pa ako nag-Windows 11 dito. But it has the features na meron na makipag-sync and connect with a Huawei smartphone and Huawei tablets. If you have a tablet, you can connect it, extend it if you want. With a smartphone, I can actually do this. Gusto ko ipakita sa ito I got the Huawei Mate 40 Pro. Place ko lang dito.
And it will connect.
There we go. Wait lang. Nag-vibrate na siya eh.
Nag-vibrate.
So, ito pala. Sorry. Nandito na sa ano. Ayan. Connect. Nag-vibrate, connect. Then, automatically, yung display ko dito, mag-mirror na
okay.
sa
So, you just have to tap it on your device.
I just have to tap my Mate 40 Pro dito. So, sobrang mga productivity, helpful talaga sa productivity to. Kasi, pag may Huawei smartphone ka, lagay mo lang doon, tap mo lang doon, or connect mo kung walang NFC. Mabilis mo ka maka-connect with with the device. Hindi mo na kailangan check yung phone mo. Dito ka na mag-text, dito ka na tumawag. Pwede na gawin dito 'yon. Pwede pa nga ito gamitin as navigation and all. And marami pa magagamit dito. Huawei Share, you can connect it, you can transfer yung files dito, mabilisan for videos, gano'n, malalaking files and all. So yeah, as for Windows 11 naman, once we upgrade it, of course, darating na dyan yung mga new features na exclusive sa Windows 11, and then matitake advantage din natin dito sa MateBook 14s.
Okay, so there's parang mirror din yung pinakita mo kanina, no? And there's a whole mechanics of collaboration, screen collaboration, parang kompleto, no? And I think alam naman natin si Windows, no? Meron siyang Windows Phone application. Di ba meron siyang ganun?
Yeah,
pero at the end of the day, parang nakukulangan ako sa kanya.
Kulang siya.
Kulang siya. And
hindi katulad na itong yung sa talagang dedicated for that specific smartphones.
So kumbaga pinaganda pa niya yung kung ano yung meron doon sa
exactly.
Windows Phone. Well, you have the Windows Phone and you still have that, the whole ecosystem built by Huawei. Sige. Pag-usapan natin yung mga features na yan, no? That is very much innate to the new MateBook rather, no? Madami silang mga talagang features that you can say na kami nagsimula nito o kaya mas maganda yung sa amin. Ganyan eh. Alam naman natin si MacBook, I love the Mac OS, no? The ecosystem that they built. Although at the end of the day, may hinahanap pa rin ako sa kanya, no? Which makikita ko lang kung saan dun sa MateBook rather, dun sa sa ecosystem ni Huawei. Can you expound or explore more on this and tell us your experience?
Una, marami pa akong hindi na-mention dito na features eh. So, yun yung mga bagay na medyo excited ako for this one. First, 90Hz display. I mean, alam na natin sa smartphones. Having a 90Hz display, pag naglaro ako dito ng Valorant, for sure, mas may advantage ako compared to other laptops sa 10 and Lite 10. Kasi most of them are still at 60Hz eh. So, malaki advantage yun for me. And then, of course, meron pa ako nung mobile app engine. Hindi pa kasi, well, for Windows 11, it's coming. I mean, the mobile Android applications are coming to Windows 11. But it's not available. It's still on beta. And the performance, I tried it. It sucks. Yun na talaga yung ko doon. As for this one, actually running ito, Wattpad right now. This is an Android application. I run it. I downloaded it at using the Huawei App Gallery. And so far, maganda yung performance. There are also some games, Free Fire, and also Worm Zone. And so far, ang laki nung difference nung performance niya compared dun sa Windows subsystem for Android na available sa Windows 11. So, if you're planning on playing games, and since touchscreen siya, pwede niyo siyang gawin dito.
Pero may question ako dyan, Jam, no? When you said mobile subsystem, like, kasi di ba nga, as you mentioned, si Windows meron nun, albeit a little buggy, no? It is coming na, in the case of Huawei, it's coming. Meron siyang parang sarili niya na ecosystem for that. Tama ba?
Yes, meron siyang sarili, which is using HMS Core. Same core na ginagamit sa mga Huawei smartphones.
Huawei devices, okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So, may insight ako dyan, no? It's actually a very nice feature, not just simply for consumers, but also for the developers. Kasi biruin mo, no, you're not just actually developing applications anymore built for the smartphones and for tablets that Huawei has, but also doon sa laptop. No? Because right now, you can also still install. And I would guess that one also would have their own app gallery where all of those apps will be available, no?
Oo. So actually, ang dami ko na download na apps dito. Although still on beta, so marami pa improvement sa mangyayari.
Oh, question. Meron ba yung multi-touch display?
Yes. You can actually take advantage yung multi-touch na touchscreen natin na minention kanina sa mga games and also sa applications na running dito. But kasi hindi ko pa masyado na nagagamit to, meron pa tayong mga games na itatry dito and hopefully mapatakbo ko siya na maayos like Mobile Legends. Just, very popular naman dito sa Pilipinas.
Oo naman. Saka syempre, may bago ngayon, Pokemon yun di ba? So,
yan.
So hopefully, those applications will soon become available and will be installable. And as we mentioned, this particular mobile app engine is coming soon on Huawei MateBook. Okay, in summary, Jam, ito na yung aking end question for you. What can you say about this awesome new device that we have right now? And how does this fit for users who are currently totally ingrained in the Apple ecosystem?
For some people na, like you said, ingrained na sa Apple ecosystem. So if they tried switching to Windows and na-enjoy nila yung ecosystem ng macOS, one thing na hindi nila mamimiss is they can enjoy yung ecosystem like for this one with the Huawei MateBook 14s. First, if you're using a Huawei smartphone, if you're using other Huawei devices, you can enjoy the ecosystem. Upcoming pa yung mga HMS Core, and of course, additional pa dito is yung mga Windows specific features na pero tayo para makapag-sync tayo sa ating mobile devices. So, kahit na mag-change ka ng platform, yung syncing naman ng applications, yung syncing ng mga features, hindi mo mamimiss yung ibang mga bagay. Yes, may advantages si Apple, pero meron din advantages si Windows. Aside doon, pwede ka pa syempre maglaro ng Windows games, which is a big advantage compared sa mga macOS and iOS users.
I can agree with with that, no? And with the new M1 chipset, there is no way for us to actually play some Windows games that are actually only available on Windows. And I guess tama yung sinabi mo kanina, no? I would really agree on that, na kung galing ka ng Apple ecosystem, it will not be hard for you to jump into the Windows platform, especially with the Huawei MateBook 14s, because meron din siyang parang collaboration or ecosystem feature that's actually pretty much similar with the one on MacBook. But if you cannot let go of the ecosystem that you loved before, you love pa rin, then you might as well, try to own both if you can afford them. Kasi minsan may ganoon naman talaga multi-OS user, di ba? So,
most of us are using different OS depending sa kung ano yung ginagamit natin right now.
Right, no? Like ngayon, di ba? In my case, there's a major advantage on a MacBook. If you own a MacBook and you're using DaVinci Resolve, the latest version of DaVinci Resolve, because it's now 5 times faster in terms of rendering. Even, they say it's even up to 8K, but I don't kasi render my videos to 8K, no? Even 4K, no? So, ayun. I mean, it's I guess for me, it's a cheaper alternative rather than me building my own PC where I have to spend 150,000 just to have a GeForce RTX 3080, no? Na meron pang shortage.
Para ma-enjoy mo yung, para ma-enjoy mo yung same speed.
Right. So I guess total respect, to Windows users, total respect to Apple users if you want to stick, in your ecosystem, and if you want to stick, sa Windows if you want to, or Apple if you want to. Okay, that's it for my questions, Jam. I guess if you have anything na gusto itanong sa akin, this is it.
Actually, marami akong tanong sa iyo kasi I'm curious on how you're using yung M1 MacBook. I mean, it's one of the biggest change na ginawa ni Apple when they switched to M1. I mean, it's x86. That's the big difference between Windows and Apple devices na ngayon this 2021. Mac, they're using ARM processors. And then for Windows, they're using x86, just like this one.
Just like
the MateBook 14s. But here's the thing. The MacBook Pro M1, the M1 I'm not talking about the latest one. They're still using the same design for years now. I mean, it's old. it's more than 3 years old yung design na yan. I actually owned that design before, bago pa siya ibenta kasi luma na.
Yeah.
So, do you think yung design niya is nakaka-affect on how you use the notebook?
Apple kasi has always been, they foster simplicity, and if it ain't broken, don't fix it. I think the design has always carried over the years because there's nothing to change in it. It's working on its own, and I respect Apple on that, no. However, yun nga, the innovation that people have been looking for ay hindi nila makita kasi parang there's nothing new. There's no touchscreen there. Apple, what are you doing? There's nothing new there. It's the same design. And in fact, no, with the touch bar, remember, Jam, when we were in Taiwan? Nasira yung Windows laptop ko. At tapos dinidemonyo nyo ako sa DaVinci, no? No, Premiere at that time.
Premiere. Premiere.
Oh, and then, not flexing or anything, no, but I was forced to actually buy a MacBook there because it's way cheaper in Taiwan than buying it here in the Philippines, no. And I enjoyed every bit of it. No, I enjoyed every bit of it, and the touch bar was there. It was there, but I didn't actually want the touch bar. But I'll be discussing more about the touch bar later. But yeah, there isn't really anything new in terms of the functionalities. Innate though, like if you dig deeper, you will know that the sound got better. Mas lumakas siya. I think the innovation is not really on the design, but really more on what's inside. So, very Apple.
They've been like that for years. The thing for me, the touch bar wasn't that useful for me when it was unveiled. Ginagamit ko na yung touch bar na MacBook Pro. And it was useless for me kasi nag-edit ako ng video. I still prefer having a touchscreen display on a Mac kaysa na magkameron ako ng touch bar kasi pang ng timeline yan. Play, pause, volume, which is kaya din naman ng hardware buttons. Which is, hindi ako naging masaya dun sa innovation na tinatawag ni Apple when it was announced yung kanyang touch bar. Okay. Ito yung tinanong mo sa akin kanina is about yung kanyang display. No touchscreen si MacBook. Kamusta sa'yo yung display ni MacBook Pro? With a 16:10 aspect ratio.
Okay, before I go to the 16:10, hands down, this is one of the best displays I've seen on a laptop. I guess a lot of you guys would say na this is really one of the more color accurate ones. Kaya masarap pag-edit sa Apple.
Agree ako doon. Yun yung
MacBook.
nagustuhan ko.
I think a lot of laptops, including the one on Huawei naman yung MateBook, is they really value also color, but iba talaga pag color profile ni Apple yung pinag-usapan. In terms of the 16:10 and versus 3:2, depende, no. I prefer the 3:2 when editing. So in terms of editing, I think the vertical part mas nagiging useful siya para sa akin. However, no, if for instance I want to really preview and I want to see, yung itsura ng video ko output, if I want to preview it, I prefer 16:10 or 16:9. So I want the verticality, the horizontal, the advantage on that, no. Yun yung gusto ko. Pero yun nga they've there's really this advantage, no, for me, no, especially when previewing. So yun yung nakikita ko na best about 16:10, no, versus the 3:2 ratio.
Actually yung 16:9, para sa mga viewers, 16:9 is the most common na nakikita nyo sa YouTube. 21:9, 60:9. So agree din ako doon when it comes to video editing. Mas gusto ko vertical kasi minsan marami tayong layers sa video editing. Pero pag gusto ko nga makita minsan, actually gusto ko makita yung buong kabuuan ng video, prefer ko 16:10. So malaking bagay sa akin na yung mga ganong aspect ng display, yung aspect ratio. So yan. Next question ko naman, ito medyo mag-shift tayo. Okay.
Sige.
Ito medyo bago kasi ito sa MacBook Pro. It's the M1 processor. I mean, we've seen reviews, we've seen the performance, the benchmarks and all. Maganda yung performance. Agree ako doon. But, do you think magkakameron ka ng problema with the M1 processor? I mean, there are still some applications that are still using x86. Hindi pa sila fully nagta-transition to M1. So, ano yung viewpoint mo doon regarding yung mga M1 apps and the x86 apps on the MacBook Pro M1?
I think this is one of the hurdles of having something new. Ito naman yung problema talaga, and it's really up to the developers to really make their applications way more optimized for the new chipset. Kasi yun talaga yung concern like for instance nga, in DaVinci Resolve, it took them about more than 6 or 7 months in order for them to really optimize it a lot, especially to the M1 chipset. Plus, not only that, sabi nga nila, kapag ka Apple user ka, hindi ka pwede mag-games. Isa yun sa mga concerns, games, or, there's not a lot of games available. But if we take away the games in the equation, I guess, whatever application that is available right now on macOS Store, you will have to check doon sa mismong changes kung talagang may full support na siya on M1 chip. Kasi yun yung talaga kailangan makita. It will work on other older models, like it's more optimized. You would feel it, especially in terms of performance. Pero kailangan mo talagang tingnan if it can really work flawlessly on the M1. Fortunately, there's a lot of applications naman na that would work, But there will be a bit of a challenge for developers rather, to come up with to make their old applications work on the new platform, or also for new developers to create new applications that will work flawlessly agad-agad on this new platform.
Yeah. Marami pang hurdles actually ang na-experience. Even the developers. Marami ako narinig before. They're still not ready for the shift. And yung iba, indies lang, so medyo nahirapan. Speaking of hurdles, ito pinag-usapan natin to kanina, the ports. Tinanong mo sa akin to, kamusta ang port sa'yo? Kamusta ang port usage ng USB-C lang na meron sa MacBook Pro?
If you only have 2, you're really forced to buy a dongle. I mean, just to actually display your just to parang gusto mo lang malagay sa TV mo, yung display mo, extend your monitor, you will have to have a compatible monitor to do that if you want to use the USB to USB Thunderbolt, or talagang kailangan mo bumili ng dongle, and sometimes dongles, they don't come cheap. So you have to include that in the equation. Funny, di ba, Jam, alam naman natin M1 chip na to, di ba? And people have been talking about, it is M1, but parang there's still remnants of Intel involved because of the Thunderbolt in there, di ba? So but in terms of those 2 ports alone, they perform really well. So in terms of transfer speed, if you have a compatible monitor that can allow you to output directly, very flawless, wala kang problema. But then again, there are only 2. But if you get the higher variant, you get 4. But then you will have to spend, as I mentioned, more.
Medyo mahirap din na lahat USB-C. Wala siyang variety.
Wala.
Medyo, unlike, yun nga, sinabi ko kanina with the MateBook Pro 14s, meron akong HDMI. No need to bring a dongle for that one pag nasa presentation. Then USB-A for my mouse, kasi I still use a wired mouse, especially pag naglalaro ko ng games. As for the camera, and curious ako, camera, microphone, how's the performance of the camera and the microphone of the MacBook Pro M1?
They've improved a lot, coming from the previous lineup, this is really way better. The look of the camera, my look on the camera, it's much crisper. Kumbaga, and if you include AI on the plate, it even enhances your face further. And sabi nga ng isang mga ka-zoom ko, parang blooming ka ngayon.
Yun. Pogi tayo today.
Ayun, alam ko naman na medyo may konting dagdag na kasipsipan yun, pero I guess it kind of helps. Ngayon kasi, di ba, kapag ito ang way para mag-test ka ng magandang webcam on a laptop. Patayin mo yung ilaw, maglagay ka ng konting ilaw lang, flashed on your face, turn on the webcam. If it's struggling, then you have a problem. Ito yun, no? We don't usually cover webcams di ba? Sa mga laptop, saka yung mga microphone. Pero this time, kailangan na. No, ito na yung
especially
time.
ngayong panahon ng work from home tayo. And ang daming nakikritis, pangit ang webcam mo
Parang may artifacts, no?
Nadjudge ka. Nasa Zoom ka lang. Nahusgahan ka na.
Diba? Parang,
So malaking bagay na may AI talaga dun sa webcam.
Yeah.
Malaking tulong yun.
Yeah. I would assume that the MateBook 14s also has the same thing, no? As you mentioned earlier. So, kamusta naman yung itsura mo pala? Mabalik ko lang sa iyo yung tanong. Kamusta naman ang mukha mo sa sa camera ng MateBook 14s?
Actually, the camera quality, well, hindi siya sobrang ganda, pero hindi rin siya sobrang lala. As expected, sobrang soft nung webcam ko. Hindi siya kasing ganda nito. I'm using camera right now. Pero ano na siya, mapapagbigyan mo na kumbaga pag nasa Zoom ka. Ang mahalaga kasi talaga sa akin doon is the microphone. Yun talaga yung pinakamahalaga. As long as naintindihan ka, yung mukha mo, better lighting, mag-i-improve yan Kayang gumanda yung
Kayang
camera.
remedyohan.
Although pag low light, medyo soft na yan. Parang ano na talaga yung quality. Pero yung microphone, pag hindi ka nila naintindihan, useless yung video call. So, mahalaga na maganda yung ating microphone for the laptop. Okay.
Alright.
Speaking of yung mga hardware na medyo nakakainis, like camera, webcam. Kamusta ang touch bar?
As much as I want to praise the touch bar because, nagamit ko naman siya before, I hate it. I mean, it's useful in some ways or another. Like, it automatically transitions or transforms into a Spotify, pero doon ko na siya nagagamit. Minsan, I forget pa nga I forget pa na, ito na pala, may mga contextual windows na pala lumalabas doon sa touch bar if I want to switch from one tab to another, especially when I'm using Safari. Pero, bro, kaya pala binalik nila yung F keys.
Kasi ang hirap. Ang hirap talaga na Especially pag naglalaro. Kasi minsan tinitiis ko, may mga Steam games na compatible with Mac. Tinitiis ko yung touch bar. May mga games na, what the hell, kailangan ko ng function keys. Kailangan ko pindutin yung hold yung FN para lumabas yun minsan. Which is really annoying.
Yeah.
So speaking
M1 MacBook, ayoko yun. yes, sorry.
Speaking of Windows games, ito na-miss ko talaga to on the M1. Kamusta yung kamusta yung feature na nawala sa'yo? Kasi hindi ka na pwede mag-install ng Windows on MacBook Pro M1 Since it's M1, it's not compatible. I mean, Windows is not compatible anymore. Windows 10 on ARM or Windows 11 on ARM, if that exists already, hindi na siya ginawang compatible with the MacBook with the boot camp. Although pwede parallels, di ba? Pwede mga ganun. Pero iba pa rin yung native. Kamusta sa'yo yung ganun na walang feature na ganun sa'yo?
For me, parang one of the reasons, meron lang side story dyan. One of the reasons why I got the 512 gig before was because I wanted to use the other partition as a Windows. No? Yun yung dati kong gusto noon Ngayon, parang sa isip-isip ko, if I get the 512 gig, parang I can't install any more Windows there. Para saan pa? No, I can use naman storage devices, para external storage devices for additional things. So, ang ginagawa ni Apple, dagdag ka ng RAM para sa, di ba, ganun or dagdag ka limbawa ng processor para lang kat papano, if you get the higher storage variant, you get that as well as a bonus. So, parang ganun. Para sa akin, it's a huge loss for me. As much as I want to, be full on Mac OS on my MacBook, malaki pa rin yung bagay na meron kang Windows installed. But I would understand Apple for doing that. I still respect them for doing that. I don't even think that Microsoft has been tuning up Windows to work on M1 chipset. I don't think that's the case as well. So, but yeah, it's a huge loss for me. Yeah.
Yeah, agree ako doon. Kasi even though nag-exist yung crossover is an application that you use to install Windows apps and games Mac. Hindi pa rin enough yun eh. You can't get the native experience. Sometimes there are bugs and hindi 100% mag-work yung mga Windows apps and games on Mac M1. As for parallels, malaking performance dip yung ma-experience nyo kasi it's just emulating Windows. And we don't even know if they will support Windows 11 and up in the future kasi there are TPMs and other requirements. So, hindi ka makakasigurado eh. So, I really miss yung bootcamp. So, ito na, last na to, Gian. Ayoko na patagalin pa.
Alright.
Ano bang dapat malaman ng mga tao sa MacBook Pro and kamusta yung experience mo with the MacBook Pro M1?
Well, overall, I'm really happy with the MacBook Pro as a content creation and editing device. But it stops there. No? I use it only mainly for Photoshop. No, I use it mainly for Lightroom. I use it mainly for DaVinci Resolve, and enjoy some of the applications and games available via macOS Store. No, if you are subscribed, like for me, I'm subscribed to a few of its subscription models. You will enjoy it as well. However, as I mentioned earlier, everything kind of stops there. I think you'll enjoy it more if you have the other devices of Apple. But it's not, if I may say, affordable to own everything.
That's true.
Yun yung isa sa mga talagang hurdle of really owning and being in the Mac OS ecosystem or Apple ecosystem.
Yeah, medyo mahirap na bilhin mo lahat eh. Coming from the phone, to the watch, to the MacBook. Wala kang alternatives kasi lahat ng Apple products may kamahalan talaga.
Exactly.
Medyo expensive siya compared sa other ecosystem. Like for example, pag naka-Windows plus Android ecosystem ka, pwede kang bumili ng mid-range laptop, pwede kang bumili ng low-end laptop, low-end smartphone, and yet pwede ka pa rin mag-sync using different applications. You can use Microsoft Your Phone. As for Huawei, you can use Huawei Share even for the Y series. So, may flexibility tayo with Windows plus Android compared sa Apple devices, which is medyo limiting yung kanilang ecosystem. So yeah, yun lang yung mga tanong ko. I think yung mga viewers natin marami natutunan sa mga pag-usapan natin.
I believe so, yes.
Kasi parang ano talaga different sila eh. MacBooks and MateBooks, they're na different parang hindi sila, depende sa kung anong need mo, kung ano yung dapat mong kunin, di ba? Magdidepende sa kung anong kailangan mo. Ano ba opinion mo daw regarding the MateBooks and the MacBooks, yung parang comparison nila?
There's a duality of the use of these devices. It's expensive to own both, but if you'll have to, let's say, stick with one ecosystem, stick to the one that you're familiar with. Yun yung sabi ko siguro, no. But if you want to experience another ecosystem and you can't let go of the current, if you have the money, then you might as well try to buy an inexpensive one, try to experience it, and slowly, if you wanna leave the other ecosystem, slowly leave from it. No? Kung gusto mo lang naman na ayaw mong high maintenance na dalawang ecosystem yung meron ka, no? Because I totally respect, kung isa lang ang gusto mong ecosystem. Ito naman, sabi ko nga, Jam, walang kumbaga parehas silang panalo eh. Walang talo
walang talo eh.
Parehas silang panalo.
Kasi depende talaga yan sa needs mo eh. Hindi natin pwede sabihin yung ano ba yung pinaka-okay na kasi for example, what if kailangan mo pala ng Windows applications? A lot of us, yung engineering student pa ako, I'm using a Mac pero I really need to use a Windows applications para sa school. And nahihirapan ako na naka-Mac ako noon. So, magdedepende talaga yun sa need mo.
Yeah. You'll kind of feel that you're losing something, no? You're losing an opportunity, to try. So, I have a friend na nagpost ako about the new MacBook, no? And he said na, ang ganda sana, ang ganda niyan, sabi ganoon. And then eventually I posted something, no? It's a new laptop pero Windows siya. Pero ang sabi niya is, sayang, ang ganda sana pero I'm deeply ingrained in the ecosystem. Pero hindi tayo kagaya ng ibang mga tao na bibili lahat.
Oh.
Hindi sila yung what is money, paper only.
Clone.
Diba? So, yun, that's it, no, for me, Jam. Yes.
Yeah, I think yun na ating yun talaga yung verdict dito sa discussion natin. Depends on the user, depends on what you need, and kung sa ka-ingrained na ecosystem.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We all know, guys, that the MacBook Pro M1 and also the Huawei MateBook 14s are really good devices. Walang talo because as we mentioned earlier, depende yan sa ecosystem na gusto mo at depende rin sa need mo, no? And just today, no, pinag-usapan namin ni Jam yung benefits and advantages and disadvantages of owning both or owning one of the two. And I hope you guys enjoyed and learned a lot from this discussion. If you have anything to say, no, if you have any comments, feedback, then please let us know in the comment section down below sa Gadget Pilipinas and also sa page din or channel ni Jam. All right. So, I guess, Jam, if I may, no, I will close it, no? And before I close, anything you wish to say to your followers and subscribers?
Doon na sa outro.
Yes, yon. So meron siyang pinrepare na outro for you guys, no? Ako naman, ganun din, no? I also prepared something for you there. But then again, as we mentioned, please do follow our pages. This has been Gian, and this is
Jamancheta.
And we are your Tech Bros. Bye.
Yeah.
That's it, guys, for our first episode of Tech Bros. I hope you guys learned a lot about these two devices, the Huawei MateBook, the new one, and of course, the Apple MacBook Pro with M1 chip. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comment section down below. If you're listening to this episode on Spotify, we'd love to know your comments as well. Also, we would love it if you can share this to your friends and family. Again, this has been Gian of Gadget Pilipinas, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!